the corruption in the Agustawestland deal. I must start by complimenting the Defence Minister. At least in his statement, I have not found any untruth. In fact, he has revealed some truths which I'll mention, which may not be helpful to the ruling party, palatable to the ruling party. Because the whole controversy on the Augusta helicopter is why the height of the helicopter, which the Air Force wanted to be 6,000 meters so that it could go up to Siachen, was reduced to 4,500 meters. Altitude, height, altitude, that's right. Now the minister has clarified that point. He has said that the PMO in December 2003 observed that the framing of mandatory ORs had effectively led the acquisition into a single vendor situation. It was inter alia considered to make the operational altitude of 4,000 meters as mandatory and higher flying ceiling of 6,000 meters and cabin height of 1.8 meters as desirable operational requirements. So this basic change, which belied what the Air Force had wanted for our VVIP helicopters in the beginning, was actually made at the behest of the Prime Minister's office during NDA regime. Thank you for admitting that. Now let me briefly state the facts of the case. Much has been spoken. 2000, this proposal to buy helicopters was mooted by the Army and Air Force early in 2000.
5 minutes.
99, you said. And then all these negotiations went on, altitude was raised, height was fixed. Then India signed a contract with Agustawestland on February 8, 2010 for 12 Agustawestland 101 VVIP helicopters for 3,600 crores. Now in the beginning of 2012, reports began appearing in Indian newspapers on corruption involved in the deal. Nothing was done by the government then, but on February 12, 2013, following the arrest of Giuseppe Orsi and Bruno Spangolini on charges of bribing, the CBI registered a case. The deal was put on hold. On 1st January 2014, the then government cancelled the chopper deal on grounds that Integrity Pact was violated. Government recovered most of the money paid to the Italian company. The ED registered a case on 3/7/2014. Now, Parrikar ji had asked a question. उनको अरेस्ट होता नहीं होता तो कुछ नहीं होता. मतलब, he said that Defence Minister Antony took the step because these people were arrested in Italy. तो मैं भी तो आपको पूछने सकता हूं, अगर मिलान में अप्रैल 8 में ये कोर्ट का जजमेंट नहीं होता तो बीजेपी भी यहां नहीं उठाते और आप भी ये स्टेटमेंट लेके नहीं आते. क्यों आप पहले नहीं किए? ये सवाल मैं बाद में वापस आऊंगा. मैडम, सर, now the Milan court has given a 226-page judgment. Before that, it must be reminded that in August 2013, after the deal was put on hold. The CAG said the revision of IAF requirement in 2006 led to a single vendor situation that benefited Augusta. It pointed out that frequent deviation of rules for awarding the contract. So what was suggested by Prime Minister's office in 2003, that was criticized by the CAG. This was not an act of the UPA government. Now, one has to very carefully read the judgment. I have done it. Judgment has two parts. The conclusion where they sentence Orsi for 4.5 years jail, where they sentence this Spangolini to 4 years jail. But it has attached many papers, and those papers include handwritten notes by Christian Michel, even a handwritten note found in Orsi's cell in the jail. Most of the quotations made by the BJP members, even of names, are from these hand-noted notes which are not part of the judgment, which are just attachments to the main judgment. This is a point which has to be noted. It is also mentioned in the handwritten note how money was distributed. IAF officers were allotted 6 million euros, bureaucracy 8.4 million euros, a category called POL where 3 million euros was earmarked for a person identified as AP, and a FAM as 15 to 16 euro. Another handwritten note was recovered from Orsi's prison cell. It said, call Monty or Ambassador Gerasiano in my name to ask him to call Prime Minister Singh. Now here I quote a statement from the then Defence Minister Antony. On 25th March 2013, speaking in Kochi, Antony said, yes, corruption has taken place. CBI investigations are at a crucial stage now. We shall not show any mercy to anybody, whoever has taken money, however big he is. Unfortunately, Mr. Antony was not able to follow up, though he was Raksha Mantri for 14 months after that. But he did say, and he did admit that the corruption was there. Unfortunately, the judgments in those attachments do mention certain people mentioned by Nishikantji. But I cannot go, one should not go. And fortunately, Raksha Mantri has not mentioned. Michel is a fugitive from law in India. He is away in Dubai. So even if he has written somebody's name, it should not be taken as gospel truth. My friends in the ruling party should take it with a pinch of salt that what Michel said is not very important. That is not part of the judgment. Please समझिए इतना कानून कि एक मेन जजमेंट के साथ एनेक्शर रहता है. सुष्मिता यहाँ है, वो बारेट लॉ है लंदन से, वो आपको बताएगी. मैं तो पूरा नहीं, आप तो अरे आप तो सुनो पहले. ये 226 पेज डॉक्यूमेंट है, और इसमें अगर उनका कोई हैंडरिटन नोट है तो कुछ नहीं. सो द मैटर इज वेरी सीरियस बिकॉज द टोटल bribe amounts to 125 crores in Indian money. So I have several questions which I will put in a rapid fire way, like they do it in the quizzes. कौन बनेगा करोड़पति? Whether flying altitude was lowered, if so when? Whether cabin height was increased, whether price escalation was affected, if so at what rate. D, whether field trials were conducted. It is said, and you have said correctly, that field trials were not conducted in India nor with Agustawestland helicopter. Whether Court of Appeal mentions any note of criticism of Christian Michel, fugitive from India. Now, my principal question is to the Defence Minister. Whether what action has been taken. Mr. Jaitley was Defence Minister for 6 months. You came from Goa and became Defence Minister. Now you have the fact that there was corruption. Now what action have you taken in the 1.5 years? You are shouting from the housetop against corruption. Tell us specific instances of what action CBI is under your government. Apart from the Taggi brothers who are specifically mentioned in the judgment, have you interrogated anybody else? And Gautam Jain or somebody has been small fry. Gautam Khaitan has been. Aur kisi ko apart from Taggi brothers have you interrogated? Is this any investigation? My next question. Whether the bribe, you say 124 crores bribe has been paid. Government recovered a lot of the money, but whether the bribe has been recovered. What has the CBI under your government done in 2 years? If bribe has been paid, you should have recovered it. Third, have you are trying to name politicians. There was a DG procurement, please, no, not you, others. You have not named anybody. I have already complimented you on that you have perfected parliamentary practice. I appreciate you for that.
Yes.
I want to ask whether you have taken any step, you have questioned the DG procurement, who is now holding a constitutional post. Whether the man who was joint secretary, I'm not winding up, man.
Okay.
Whether the joint secretary who was then, the bureaucracy, who's now occupying a UN post, whether he has been questioned. How many names of political leaders have been mentioned in the court? If so, whose? And whether you're going to take any action against them. Though I say handwritten notes are no proof, no judgment, etc.
Hearsay.
It's hearsay, basically. Lastly, I want to tell you that in paragraph 34, your statement, Mr. Parrikar, where is that? मोहतब जी, वो पैराग्राफ कितना? 24, sorry. Read clear up. Paragraph 24. Achha, I have a, sorry. No, I've got it. I've got it. What is wrong?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Madam, I'll be brief.
Yes.
Sir, sometimes I suspect that in this country, the big parties who come to power go out of power, have some sort of understanding. No inquiry took place during Antony's tenure as Raksha Mantri. And no covert understanding. And no inquiry has taken place in Mr. Parrikar's 18 months as Defence Minister. He has remained totally inactive as far as inquiry is concerned. And this is confirmed by a statement in paragraph 24. We must ask ourselves as to why, even though the reports of wrongdoing and unethical conduct by Messrs. Finmeccanica in connection with the purchase of these helicopters and initiation of preliminary investigation against the company in Italy surfaced since February 2012, followed by a report of the arrest of Finmeccanica chief. The action of putting on hold all procurement accusation cases in the pipeline with the entire Finmeccanica group of companies and other companies figuring in CBI FIR was approved on file by the then Raksha Mantri only on 12/5/2014, while UP was still there, and towards the fag end of the government's tenure. It was the present government which finally issued the order on 3/7/2014. So you have only followed in the footsteps of what your earlier government is doing, has done. Lastly, I want to quote from a Times of India report yesterday. Times of India report yesterday says that the Italian judge who delivered the verdict in Agustawestland chopper deal said on Wednesday that there was no direct evidence linking any Indian politician with alleged kickbacks to swing the deal in favor of the Anglo-Italian firm. Judge Marco Maria Maiga maintained that his verdict was only against senior officials of the company. He has already put them in jail.
Yes.
And middlemen who had paid bribes to some officials in India, and it was up to Indian sleuths to follow up the money trail. Identifying Indian individuals was not in for judgment for Italian courts. He said, adding that his order was based on documents which showed that the family of former IAF chief SP Tyagi received the money till April 2012. Guido Hashke, Carlo Gerosa, and middleman Christian Michel have been sentenced by the court. Asked about the cooperation from Indian government, as he had mentioned, substantial disinterest on clarification of facts on the case on behalf of the Indian side, he said all we had was a copy of the CAG, request for proposal and agreement copy. All I want to put to the Honorable Defence Minister that you are a responsible person. Go by insinuations and innuendos floated by people of your own party. Have a proper investigation done. And I want to know what your reaction. I have asked my questions before. I want to know your reaction that no proof to link netas with bribes by Italy judge. No. What is your reaction to that? Ma'am, I think the truth should come out and
I'm sorry now. It's
honesty should prevail.
Not so long, okay.
Madam, Aruraj Singh spoke for 25 minutes. After him,
you have more than 20
what can I do, madam? You allowed them to speak for 20 minutes. You allowed 15 minutes to Nishikant, 20 minutes to Jyotiraditya Sindhya. Why are you grudging me 10 minutes? Why are you grudging me? Please, ma'am. I know I am also hungry. We all have to go.
Thank you.
मुझे लगता है आपको अपने लोगों से नाम पूछ लेना चाहिए। मैडम, उसमें जो दस्तावेज जो आज पूरे टीवी चैनल्स पर देखने को मिलता है कि किन किन लोगों को पैसा दिया गया, कौन कौन अधिकारी थे, कौन पॉलिटिकल लोग थे, कौन फैमिली थी, तो किसकी फैमिली का नाम बार बार आता है, मैं इस पर चर्चा